Hello everyone, this is Jordan Alexander. I'm one of your professors for HIWD 310, A History of Women and the Family. In this module, in Module 3 of this week, we'll be covering women, especially the suffrage movement. We'll also be looking at the role of women in reference to industrial work, the abolitionist movement, as well as temperance. Women have played an integral part in American history, and this story deserves to be told. Your readings will come from John Stuart Mill's Subjection of Women, the first chapter, as well as several articles regarding the famous women suffragettes, Elizabeth Cady Stanton and Susan B. Anthony. We will also be reading excerpts from the British law that gave women the right to vote in 1918, as well as the 19th Amendment. Lastly, you will also be reading selections about Mary Shelley, the famous author of Frankenstein, and looking at how the historical context in Mary Shelley's day influenced her to write her famous Gothic novel. Here's some questions to make you all think during this week. What were the implications of the suffrage movement in both Britain and the United States? How did women in both the North and South view the struggle for the right to vote? Were Northerners more willing to participate in the suffrage demonstrations? Were Southern women more apprehensive to participate in the suffrage demonstrations? What were Mary Shelley's reactions to the reform law in England of 1918 that gave women the right to vote? How did the West change as a result of women earning the right to vote in both England and the United States? I, along with your co-professors, Professor Alex Boggs and Kevin Keene, we will be your guides in this somewhat crazy journey of the suffrage movement in both England and the United States. We'll also be looking at politicians on both sides of the Atlantic, male politicians, that is, and their views on the suffrage movement. Was the suffrage movement a challenge to their authority, a challenge to their power? How did the suffrage movement upset the sensitive issue of the cult of domesticity that permeated 19th century life and 20th century life in both England and the United States? Was the cult of domesticity more prevalent in the North or in the South? How did feminists, especially the suffragettes, tie in the issues of slavery and temperance with their movement to get the vote for all women? How did British women view the struggle for the right to vote? ultimately, how did women on both sides of the Atlantic view the victory of earning the right to vote in their respective years? Did some women want a return to the cult of domesticity? Did other women want a more liberalized view of the right to vote and equal rights? These are some of the questions that we will be discussing in the module this week. I look forward to teaching you, and let's enjoy this week.